Hello, kindergarten. Today we're going to start a new project and we're going to kind of start taking all the things that we've been learning this year to create this new project. So we're going to be using watercolor paints and we're going to be painting the paper for today, and then we need to let it dry before we start cutting it with scissors next class period. When you go to get your water, please remember we don't need to fill these cups all the way. All that's going to happen is we're going to spill walking them back to our table, or they're going to get bumped and they're going to splash over our artwork. So on the inside, just fill the water up to the very first line. There's a 100 on one side and there's a number 4 on the other side. That's more than enough water. For today's project, you need to pick either 2 or 3 colors for your background. Remember, when we paint, start with your lightest color first. If you don't remember the color order, they are up on the board. Otherwise, you can continue watching this video or raise your hand and ask me, and I'd be more than happy to help you out. Remember, starting with the lightest color first is nice because it keeps your brush cleaner, your water cleaner, and if you make mistakes or paint in a way that you're not happy with, you can always cover it up with a darker paint. So for this project, my color choices, I think I'm going to go with yellow, green, and blue. So my lightest color would be yellow, so I'm going to paint with yellow first, green second, and blue third. But if those are not your colors, please start with your lightest color first. So with my lightest color, I'm just going to paint the entire piece of paper. No tricks at all, no tips. Just remember, you don't want to wipe the water off on the cup. We want our brush to have lots of water. We need to load our brush up by spinning it. Again, I like to go 10 times. It really loads the brush up with a lot of paint. And when we paint, we're just going to pull, lift, and you're just going to paint the entire piece of paper one color. Okay, kindergarten, now that you have your entire piece of paper colored in one color, you're going to use either 1 or 2 more colors, and you're just going to do small sections. So you're not going to paint over the yellow. You're just going to do little blotches here and there. So I said I was going to use yellow, and then my next 2 colors are going to be green and blue. So I'm going to go ahead and go to green next because it's my next lightest color. And again, you can go ahead and rinse your brush off by painting the bottom of the cup and spinning it about 10 times. And the paper's still wet, so now we can just do little tiny areas. And you don't need to fill in the whole piece of paper. You can just do little tiny areas. You can bounce around the paper, do some up on the top, do some up on the bottom, maybe some on the corners. But again, we're not trying to paint the entire piece of paper. We're just doing little small areas. And if you want them a little bit darker, you can go back over it with that same color. And then if this is your only color, then you can be done. Otherwise, if you're going to do a third color, you can rinse your brush, go into your third color. Again, you don't want to get rid of all the yellow, so just pick some areas. That you want to add some added color. And your areas can be big or as small as you like. You can get rid of the paints. You can clean the paint out of your brush by just painting the bottom of your cup. And with a wet brush, we can go ahead and we can kind of soften the colors a little bit by not adding any more paint, but just adding some water. And if you don't want your painting to be so concrete and you want it to be mixed a little bit better so that we don't see any hard edges, you can just go ahead and paint over the top with just water.